Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the brand new release, Beyond Enemies by Marisa Wolf, a new science fiction novel from Baen Books. I first heard of this book at DragonCon in 2023, and I heard about it, A, when I saw the cover, and B, when I actually met and talked with Marisa Wolf. In fact, you can find my interview with Marisa on the channel. Just look up Marisa Wolf interview, Jonathan Cohn. It'll come up on your screen. And I got to talk with her mostly about this book. She has co-written novels with the team over at Chris Kennedy Publishing, and she's worked on anthologies, and she's written short stories for things, but this is her debut original solo novel, the first book by herself novel that she's had published, and it's a traditionally published book by Baen. And I just take a moment, talk about this cover. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous cover from Sam Kennedy, the cover artist. Not all cover art for new books is great anymore. I think that a lot of cover art is slipping, so I don't always point out the cover art, but I will say this is some of my favorite cover art I've seen in a new release book in quite a long time. I think this cover art is so good that I'm going to nominate it unless a new book comes that blows my mind and completely surprises me, which is possible, but unlikely. Unless something like that happens, I'm planning to nominate this book for the Dragon Award for Best Cover, because this is just an amazing, amazing cover. Anyway, you have the character of Talon on there, and then you have her AI, which is in the tank, which is called B. And really, the pitch of this book is a girl and her tank. That is the pitch that the author gives, that the publisher gives, that the book itself gives. The book is a girl and her tank. And she is working for this military group, fighting this other military group, and you find out that she's been kind of lied to by the government and the military, and she decides to go and fight, and say, you know what, I don't have to do this anymore, and she goes and fights, and kind of rebels a little bit, and that pitch is true, but I would say the book isn't a girl and her tank. I would pitch the book as a girl and her AI, because the tank itself is not the sentient thing like in the Bolo books. What's really sentient is this AI that goes in, that's partially in Talon and partially in the tank, and the AI is able to manage things in the tank and work with Talon, and the AI has a relationship and dynamic with Talon. Now, Talon loves her tank, loves blowing stuff up, but that's not really, the book isn't about her and the tank, really. It's really about her and her AI. And so you have the AI is named B, and then you have Talon. And their dynamic is what sells the book. I think that what holds this book together and really makes it an entertaining read is the dynamic, the relationship between B and her AI, or B the AI, and Talon. And so that's why I think is the strongest element of this book. This book also has some great themes about warfare, themes about government and transparency, themes about how we treat technology, how we treat soldiers, soldiers after a war is over, things like that. Those are all explored a little bit well. And what's interesting is Marisa Wolf, I don't believe, served in the military, and yet I think she does a great job of getting all of this stuff really well done. This is military science fiction, but it's not hardcore military science fiction. I'd say it's soft military science fiction, but it's still, I think, really good for that. Another author might have said, oh, if the book's all about an AI, let's make the book about the government trying to get rid of AI, or people trying to get rid of AI, or something like that. That would have been the crux of the story, and we've seen that done in a lot of movies and books before. That's not a bad thing. You know, I loved the new movie The Creator, which dealt with that theme, but we see it a lot. This book takes the ideas more about the military breeding children all the way up to adulthood to prepare to be soldiers, and deals with the implications of that, deals with the implications of forcing people into jobs they may not want, withholding information from your soldiers that could be critical, and I think that is a much better exploration and makes the book more unique for that aspect. So I thought that was interesting. Now, I do have some critiques of the book. Particularly, I would say the length of the book is the biggest problem here. There is a lot of bloat in the book. I would say that you could cut easily 100 to 150 pages. The book's about 400 pages in trade paperback. If you made it a mass market, like some of Bane's other mass markets, it could probably be closer to 5 or 550 book pages. But this is a trade paperback of 400. You could easily have cut between 100 and 150 pages, especially of the middle of the book. The opening, I think, is a strong opening, and the ending of the book, I think, is a pretty strong ending. But that middle, it's too aimless, it's too slow, it's too methodical. And yes, the crux of the book is the relationship between Bee and Talon. And the middle of the book, we really get a lot of exploration of that. But you could have cut a lot of it out, and I think the book would have served better for it. As it is, I think that a lot of people will probably want to DNF the book somewhere in the middle, and that's not a great feeling to have in your books. Books can be 1,000 pages if they need to be, and they can, and they can just go on and have real good character stories and stuff. And this book does have a good character story, but there are times when an editor or an author needs to say, you don't need to have all this in there. And I think this book could have been cut because of that reason. So I really think that is going to be the biggest turnoff for people with the book. And it was certainly my biggest criticism was there was just so much in the middle that should have just been cut or skipped or summarized. Or just turned, something that was like a sequence that was 5 chapters, trim it down to like 2 or 3. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. The length that's the problem. I also really enjoyed the twists in the book. There's a twist early on in the book, and it's a big twist that really is, I would call it a paradigm shifting twist in the book. That was well done. I really liked that. And then there's also a kind of a smaller twist, but still really interesting twist at the end of the book that I thought was also well done. I think the twist at the opening is better, but I think both were well done twists for the book. And the twist at the end of the book leaves a back door open for if Marisa Wolf wants to do sequels or other books in this universe. There is an idea there. It's not like you are getting a complete story in this book. Let me say, this is a standalone book. You are getting a complete story in this book. But there's just like the seed, the germination, the hint of an idea of what the future could be in this universe. And I think that would be interesting to see. But this is a full story in this book. I mean, you're getting a full, complete story. This is not part one of a bigger story. This is its own thing. So I really enjoyed that. There are some minor characters I enjoyed. I'll particularly mention a character named OT, which I can't tell you what OT stands for, but it's great character. And then also the character of Gina, I think is how you pronounce it, Jeena, Gina. I think Gina was really interesting. So those are my thoughts on Marisa Wolf's book, Beyond Enemies, which, again, has one of my favorite covers of the year. This is a gorgeous cover. I'm so glad that we have covers like this in publishing. This is how you do it. Such detail in the tank, such detail in her. Like you may not see it on this because of the glare, but like on her forehead, you can see the writing from when they've shaved her head and written stuff down because she's in the military and stuff. And you can see these tanks back here and there's detail in the trees. There's just such a great, detailed, nice, high quality cover art. But I enjoyed the book. I'll give the book a 7 out of 10. Like I had a real fun time with the book, except for the middle. The middle was really too bloated. But otherwise, I thought that the themes were great, the characters were great, the ideas behind the book I thought were great. And I do think that if you're a fan of like the Bolo series or Hammer Slammers, I think you'll probably enjoy this. I will just say that again, this book is pitched as a girl and her tank. The tank is present, but it's really about the girl and her AI. So just note that going into the book. So I give this a 7 out of 10. So that is my review of Beyond Enemies. If you've gotten the chance to read this book, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.